Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I invite you to follow a simple yet heartwarming story where every small choice can change the course of a long day. If you love those ordinary but profound slices of life, please subscribe, press like, and turn on the bell so you won't miss the next parts. Your support is the motivation for me to keep telling stories that touch the heart. Thank you so much. The midday sun pressed down as if gathering all the dry days into a single moment. In the small house on the edge of the village, Tuna closed part of the window so the rays wouldn't shine straight in. Baby Henry slept peacefully, his long lashes casting shadows on his cheeks. The room carried a faint scent of baby powder and milk. In the corner, the new crib stood neat and firm, its bright wood glowing under the light, joints sturdy. Since Alex had brought it, Tuna had been able to sleep better. With just a turn of her head, she could see her child, safe and sound. Outside the porch, the wind passed through the gourd trellis, rustling the lush green leaves, scattering spots of sunlight that danced on the brick floor. The chickens clucked in their coop. The pond water lapped gently against the earthen bank. It could have been a peaceful day, if not for the vague sting of memory. The image of her former mother-in-law suddenly taking Henry away one late afternoon, as if stealing Tuna's very breath. That moment had passed. Henry was safe. But whenever sunlight touched the window bars, the memory rippled like waves. Tuna poured water into the kettle and set it on the charcoal stove. The blue flames spread warmth. She sat beside the crib, gazing at Henry asleep, whispering as if to reassure herself. "Sleep well, my child. Mommy is here." Amid the quiet, a voice called through the bamboo grove. "Tuna, Tuna." The familiar voice, deep and warm, like a bell chiming into the drowsy noon. Tuna stepped out to the porch. Through the bamboo gate appeared Johnny, smiling gently, carrying a small gift bag wrapped in simple paper. He was straightforward and few of words, but his thoughtfulness showed in the way he placed the gift on the table. Light, neat, not a crease disturbed. "You came is already enough. No need for gifts," Tuna said, opening the gate. "I came to visit my mother and stop by to see how you and the baby are." "Yes, the baby is sleeping. It's been hot these days, so he sleeps a lot." Johnny opened the bag and took out a small wooden mobile with a few soft cloth animals. "This hangs over the crib. When the wind moves it, the baby will sleep easier." He spoke naturally, as if caring for little ones was second nature. Tuna smiled, thanked him, and received it with both hands. A simple object, but the giver had thought of a child's sleep. That alone was precious. They both sat on bamboo chairs outside the porch. The wind carried the scent of ripe rice from the distant fields. Everyday questions came quickly. "How is the farm these days? Is it hard for you?" And just as quickly, the talk touched the most fragile thread, the incident of the former mother-in-law taking Henry away. Tuna spoke slowly. From the moment she looked up and couldn't see her child, her heart fell out of her chest, her legs trembling as she called Alex again and again. Then the timely arrival of the police, the circling bikes around the neighborhood, and finally the opening of the woman's door, Henry sleeping in her arms. "I think she just missed her grandchild too much. After all, he is her grandson," Tuna said, her eyes fixed on a vague spot in the yard. Johnny didn't interrupt. He waited until the wind shifted, then gently said, "From now on, you must be more careful. If she moves house, it will be hard to find her." Tuna nodded. "The police already asked her to sign a commitment. I don't want to cut ties. If she really only misses her grandson, I will still let her see him." There was a softness rising in her words. Gentleness is not weakness, but the ability to place kinship above the thorns. Johnny shared briefly about his journey to find his lost sister. Each time a clue appeared, he rearranged work to go. The last time, he did a DNA test from the start, and the result didn't match. "Of course it was sad," he smiled gently, "but I will keep looking." That smile was the silent patience of someone long used to the road. Tuna hung the mobile on the crib. The cloth animals swayed softly in the breeze, creating tiny rocking rhythms. "Thank you," she said. "It's small, but I think Henry will like it. Come visit my mother with me, will you? She hasn't seen you and the baby for a long time." "Yes, all right. Let me just prepare a few things for the baby." The white clouds still drifted leisurely. The village road opened like arms embracing two grown-ups and the little life between them. As the car rolled past the hibiscus fence, Tuna looked back. The old house, the gourd trellis, the wash basin, familiar things like a resting shoulder. She exhaled softly, as if placing her piece back into every roof tile. Can we stop by the grocery store? I'd like to buy some cakes as a gift for Auntie. Sure, there's a shop near my mother's house. Everything there is fresh. The small grocery store had chipped paint on the doorframe, but the shelves were neat. Tuna picked a few packs of cakes, condensed milk, soft candies for children, and a box of tea. The gifts weren't expensive, but they carried meaning. When she came out, Johnny had already opened the car door and took the bags from her. They continued on their way. When the car stopped in front of Johnny's mother's house, the shade of a large almond tree spread across the yard. The iron gate opened, and an elderly woman's voice rose, cautious, then overflowing. "You're back, son?" Seeing Tuna and baby Henry, her eyes lit up as though she had found a precious keepsake. She took Henry in her arms, patting his back with a rhythm born of habit. "It's been so long since I held a baby," she said, her voice mingling with laughter. Inside, a kettle of green tea had already been set. On the wall hung an old family photo, the wooden frame worn, but the smiles inside still bright. She set out teacups, asking after every little detail. "Are you eating well? Has Henry gotten heavier yet?" Turning to Johnny, she teased, "The other day I came home from the rice fields and the neighbors said you'd already gone." Johnny laughed, scratching his head. "Next time I'll tell you first." Then he said about the meal. "I'll prepare a chicken. It's been a while since we had everyone at the table." The kitchen filled with the smell of fried shallots and steaming chicken broth. Johnny skillfully cleaned the bird, boiled it just enough to keep the meat sweet. Tuna washed the vegetables, breaking tender leaves, her hands deft as she arranged dishes. The knife moved steadily across the board, strokes even as breaths. Henry lay in his grandmother's arms, eyes half closed, smiling faintly in dreams. Within that home, life grew from the simplest gestures. The meal was served, golden chicken, a bowl of light vegetable soup, dipping sauce with slices of red chili, and stir-fried mushrooms scented with pepper. Mother placed meat in Tuna's bowl. "Eat, my dear. You need strength to care for the baby." She turned to Johnny. "Eat more, son. You've grown thin from work." Words simple on the surface, but carrying a sky full of care. Over the meal, Tuna shared a little about the farm. The flock of chickens settling in, weeds cleared, plans to plant more vegetables. Mother listened, then waved her hand. "Why don't you stay here? I'll watch the baby. You can work with ease. It's lonely for me alone." Tuna looked down at Henry, biting her lip. She knew the offer brimmed with love, but also knew the farm was where she had rebuilt her rhythm after hardship. And there, Alex often stopped by, helping in difficult times. "I'm grateful, Mother, but let me stay there. Coming back and forth is fine. When free, I'll bring the baby here often." Mother looked deep into Tuna's eyes, then nodded. "That's fine. Just be healthy, eat well, sleep well, so you have milk for the baby." The sunlight softened, thin beams stretched across the windowsill. The sound of spoons tapping bowls, laughter woven together, slowed the meal like music fading at the end of a record. Afterward, Johnny tidied up, telling Tuna to let Henry rest in the room. The elderly mother checked the doors, swept the porch gently, her hands working while her ears followed the murmured exchanges of the two she considered her children. A little later, Tuna brought Henry out. Grandmother asked to hold him a bit longer, saying, "Be good, my dear, grow fast, and come to visit Grandma more often." Her voice blended with the steady hum of the ceiling fan, weaving a net of peace over the room. The afternoon leaned. The sun began tracing the horizon, clouds swelling into a distant band. Looking at the sky, Johnny understood. We should leave now, otherwise if the rain comes, it'll be hard to get back. The old mother still wished to keep them. Stay for the night, go tomorrow morning. But Tuna shook her head, gentle yet firm. At home there are chickens, pigs, and garden beds left undone. Next time I'll stay longer. She packed a few small bags into a basket, some sticky rice, beans, a few gourds from the garden. Take these home to cook porridge for the baby, she reminded, eyes tender. Some gifts need no flowery wrapping because they were born from loving hands. In the yard, at farewell, the wind carried the scent of young guava leaves with a dampness foreshadowing storm. She held Henry close, pressing her cheek to his sun-warmed hair, then quickly returned him to Tuna for fear of slipping. Be careful on the road. Call me when you get home so I'll be at ease. Her voice wavered. Tuna bowed, eyes glistening. Thank you, Mother. Next time I'll stay longer. Johnny opened the car door. From the rearview mirror, he saw her figure on the porch, shrinking into a soft dot against the deepening evening. In that moment, he understood why people need to return, to remember once being told, eat more, and to know there's a place waiting, saying, call me when you get home. The car left the alley, its wheels trailing a thin line of dust. In the fields, a few figures gathered straw, their palm hats brushing against the sky. Tuna sat in the back seat, holding Henry. The child smacked his lips as if dreaming of milk. She stroked his back, patting gently, eyes drifting outside, to the road leading back to the farm. Earlier, Mother said you should move in with her so she can look after the baby while you work. What do you think? Johnny asked, eyes still fixed on the road. I care for her deeply, but I've set my life into the rhythm of the farm. There, I know what to do each morning and how to sleep in peace each night. I understand, Johnny nodded. Having a place to place your trust each day? That's good. The wind shifted. Bamboo groves bent softly along the roadside. In Tuna's mind flickered the list of tasks ahead. Boil water to bathe Henry. Cook porridge with the beans Mother gave. Clear dry twigs in the yard. Check the chicken feed. Many tasks, but each one like a small brick rebuilding a once-cracked foundation. Will you be busy tomorrow? Tuna asked, as if casually. Tomorrow I have work on a few plots of land, and I need to stop by the mill. But if I'm free, I'll come by. Yes, Tuna replied quietly, a single word carrying enough weight to tell the listener where he stood in her heart. The car crossed a small bridge over the canal feeding the fields. The water rippled as Johnny tossed a stone in during a brief stop. For those who had long lived in the village, every stretch of road held a memory. The bamboo grove where magpies sang omens, the bend where the wind gathered and leaves whirled, the field once alive with cockfights. Passing by, these memories stirred each other awake, turning the road into a book where every page held a story. Noon thinned away. Alex steered off the highway, the car hugging the red dirt road leading into the tree-covered hill that Miss Trung had arranged to survey. The air on the hillside rose with the scent of green resin. The rim of the sky was thin like a sheet of glass, so clear that one could see the shadows of clouds shattering on the canopy. Miss Trung walked past Alex, notebook in hand. The locals say this hill is about 67 hectares. The trees are even and large. The access road is very convenient, so they're asking a higher price than expected. Alex didn't answer in a hurry. He let his eyes measure the slope, estimate the backing distance for trucks, look at the road width sufficient for 2 vehicles to pass. Wind slid through. Red dust fell from leaf edges like grains of cereal powder. If it's high, we negotiate, Alex said in a low voice. As long as the quality is standard and transport is smooth, we can keep the line running for a long time. They crossed a strip of straight trees. Rows of acacia interlaced evenly, occasionally interspersed with a few beds of eucalyptus with gray-white trunks. The diameter was at the right size for chipping, few young trees, compact crowns. Miss Trung flipped her notebook, jotting down the numbers quickly. Alex, check the other slope too. It's just as even. If we buy, I estimate production for 2 to 3 months without interruption. All right, Alex nodded. Send Alex the landowner's phone number. As for the price, let Alex talk directly. Standing on a high knoll, they looked down at the winding road connecting the hill to the main route. One clear advantage, the slope wasn't too steep, no sharp bends. In the rainy season, trucks would still have a chance to climb and back up if an extra layer of base material was spread. And the bamboo, Ms. Trung continued. I finalized prices with the locals for several bamboo hills the other day, but the company's budget is running low. I need Alex to advance funds to put down deposits so they feel secure. Alex flipped through the schedule in his head. This afternoon, he had to sign contracts for a shipment. Tonight, he had to review cash flow. Tomorrow morning, meet the landowner. Okay. Once we're back at the factory and finalize the contract, Alex will transfer it right away into the company account. Prepare the advance paperwork for Alex. Yes. A thin gray line of clouds drew across the summit. The leaves folded slightly as if forecasting an afternoon shower. Alex let his eyes sweep around one last time, marking the wheel touch points in his memory. Then let's head back to the factory, Alex said. Prepare the documents. Tomorrow, Alex will meet the owner. They descended. Alex dropped Miss Trung at the factory gate. He instructed, gather the boundary maps, detailed quotations, plus projected transport under 3 scenarios: dry, rainy, prolonged rain. The clearer it is, the easier it is to negotiate. Understood. In the office, Alex signed a stack of contracts the secretary had prepared, a large order from Miss Hoy with quantities increased over the previous batch. The paper edges still smelled of fresh ink. He skimmed each clause, tapped his pen at the note delivery time, and added a line, weather contingency, except a margin of 24 to 48 hours when it rains for days. The secretary nodded. I'll inform the client this afternoon. The transfer button appeared on the banking screen. Alex confirmed the advance for Miss Trung to deposit on the bamboo already finalized. A soft beep. Transaction successful. He turned off the screen and stood up. In his mind, an image slipped in naturally. The wooden doorframe at the farm, the light-colored crib, and Tuna's face bending over Henry. Drop by for a bit, Alex thought. The road to the farm suddenly dimmed by half a shade because of clouds. The fields shifted color from yellow to deep green. The wind carried the smell of damp earth earlier than expected. Alex stopped the car at the gate and called, Tuna. Tuna carried Henry out to the veranda, her face lighting up with a warmth hard to name, glad that someone arrived just as the wind was changing. Alex. Alex just came back from checking the hill, dropped by on the way. Yes, Johnny stopped by this morning. I went to visit his mother with him. They sat down on the bamboo bench. The wind pushed the distant rain curtain into thin scratches across the sky. Alex looked at the crib in the corner, the thing he had brought the other day, and felt a brief sense of rightness. About the DNA, Alex asked softly. You didn't tell the aunt, did you? No, she's elderly. Knowing would be too shocking. Yeah, as long as it's warm enough. Tuna poured the green tea into a pale glass. The sound of rain still lurked somewhere. Alex quickly recounted. The 67-hectare hill had a good road, even trees, eucalyptus interspersed, right for chipping, production for 2 to 3 months. The locals asked high, but transport was worth the price. As for bamboo, it had been finalized. Alex had just transferred deposits so Miss Trung could secure the stock. Then Alex looked at Tuna. Do you miss Alex? She lowered her eyes, honest? Yes? The silence was gentle like a pond surface when the wind stops teasing. Alex seized the strand of courage that had just sprouted. How about you try working at Alex's company? Being closer, Alex can look after the two of you more easily. Office work, Alex can teach. Tuna shook her head, light but resolute. I fit farm work. I'm used to manual labor. I'm not used to an office. I don't have much schooling. I feel calmer at the farm. Alex nodded. He understood. There are safety walls we build ourselves, not to hide, but to live. The phone suddenly vibrated. The secretary called, her voice a bit urgent. Boss, the client just moved up the schedule. We need a few more authorization forms signed so I can meet the partner tonight. Could you drop by in about 30 minutes? Okay, Alex will head back now. Alex looked at Tuna, eyes half apologetic, half promising. Alex has to go back to sign papers. Tomorrow, Alex will come by again. Tuna smiled. Head back, Alex. It's about to rain. I'll bathe Henry early. Alex stood, stepped over to look at Henry once more. The baby slept soundly, chest rising like small waves. The curtain billowed on the veranda. There are things left unsaid, yet already understood. Call Alex if anything comes up. Yes. Alex got into the car, and a soft rumble of thunder sounded in the distance. The tires rolled out of the gate, the smell of rain dropping onto the dirt road.
Under the thinning noon sun, Alex left the highway for the wooded hill that Miss Trung had arranged to survey. The air was saturated with the scent of green resin. The access road convenient, straight rows of acacia interspersed with gray, white-trunked eucalyptus. The locals were asking a high price, but the timber quality was, even diameters right for chipping, able to keep the line running for 2 to 3 months. Alex checked the slope, the width for vehicles to pass, marked the wheel touch points, then told Miss Trung to send the landowner's number for direct negotiation. Regarding bamboo, Miss Trung had finalized prices with the villagers. but the budget was then needing an advance for deposits. Alex agreed to transfer immediately after finalizing the day's contracts at the office. Alex signed a series of large contracts from Mishui, added a weather contingency clause, a tolerance of 2,448 hours. Rain then executed the transfer for the bamboo deposit. In his mind flickered the wooden door frame at the farm, the light-colored crib, and Tuna's face bent over Henry. So he decided to drop by. Upon arrival, the sky darkened. The wind pushed the rain curtain farther off. Tuna carried Henry to the veranda. The two talked. Tuna confirmed she hadn't told Johnny's mother about the DNA for fear of shocking her. Alex quickly summarized the 67-hectare hill and the fact he had transferred the bamboo deposit. Alex asked whether Tuna missed him. She honestly said yes. He invited her to work at his company to be close, promising to teach office tasks. But Tuna declined because she fit farm work, had little schooling, and felt at peace at the farm. The secretary called urgently, and Alex had to return to sign additional authorizations. Before leaving, he told her to call if anything came up. Distant thunder rumbled. The smell of rain spread over the dirt road. Tuna bathed Henry early and tidied the house before the downpour. The things unspoken between them were, nevertheless, understood, like the gentle stillness on a pond when the wind has just ceased.